What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. I'm kind of sick today, so I apologize for my raspy voice. I'm starting to feel better, but I was sick as a dog yesterday, and that's actually when I wanted to come out and make this video. But I'm out here today, and I actually started this one a couple weeks ago, and I didn't think we were going to get cold enough weather for me to finish it, so I was glad to see that it was going to cool back down, and I would be able to come out and finish this one. So as you saw from the title and the thumbnail, we're shooting ice today, and I spent a lot of time making these big ice blocks. It was a lot of work really to freeze them and mold them and come out and dig them out and stuff like that. And I knew from the very first shot that I took that it wasn't going to go as planned. So I didn't think it was going to get cold enough again for me to finish the video, but when I saw that it was going to get back into the negative temperatures, I knew that this was my one chance to come out and try to finish this video. So what I'm going to do is send you guys back to that first day that I was out here and show you guys what went on there. Like I said, it didn't go as I planned, but I still did get some pretty cool shots, and I love the thumbnail. I knew I had to use this thumbnail, so I couldn't just scrap all this footage. And like I said, I did get some pretty cool shots, and I just didn't want to scrap this video. So I'm going to send you guys back to day one, quickly show you what went on there, and then we'll come back to today and finish it up with something a little bit different. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for watching today's video. As you can tell, it is absolutely freezing out here today, and over the last couple weeks here in Middle America, we have had record low temperatures, so I thought that this would be a good time for me to check this one off the list. Now, out of all the things that I've shot in my life, one thing that I've never got to shoot and that I've always been curious about is ice. So today, we are gonna put this one to rest, and I have several of these really big, really dense, solid blocks of ice that I made, and I'm just curious to see what different caliber bullets will do to these things. So I got a bunch of different guns out here and several of these ice blocks, and we're gonna shoot these things. Let's do it. All right, guys, we're gonna start with the 22 long rifle out of the Ruger 1022. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous about ricochets, especially with the 22. So I'm gonna kind of hide behind my truck here and maybe protect myself. Whoa. I didn't expect that. All right, so the 22 long rifle hit that top left corner there, and I mean, just took an enormous chunk right out of that ice block. That is a lot more damage than I expected from the 22 long rifle. So let's step it up a little bit. All right, next I'm gonna shoot the 380 ACP out of the Sig Sauer P290. And I'm gonna try and aim towards that top left corner again so I don't completely destroy that ice block. I might need to put on hearing protection. Well, I was hoping these ice blocks were going to stay intact a little bit better than this so that we could see some wind tracks in there or something, but it doesn't look like it's going to work that way because the 380 also just completely shattered that ice block. I knew this was a possibility because the ice is frozen so solid that it almost felt a little bit brittle. And actually, when ice starts to melt, it can become even stronger than when it's frozen solid. I'm not sure why that happens, but it's freezing cold out here, and this stuff is definitely frozen solid. So looks like it's a little bit brittle. All right, let's hit it with a 9mm tracer round out of the Smith & Wesson SW9 VE. All right, so I went ahead and restacked that big chunk that fell off the side, and the last handgun we're gonna shoot is the 45 ACP out of the 1911. Pretty much the same result from that 45 ACP, just completely shattered it, and as you can see, we're starting to get quite the mess on my table here. I will say though that the 45 produced more of like a mist, like it actually exploded that piece of ice more than the other pistols did. So that was pretty cool. Let's move on to rifles. All right, I swapped out the ice, so we got a fresh block of ice on the table down there, and we're gonna shoot the 5.56 out of my Bravo Company AR-15. The 5.56 looks like it was a little bit more of a clean pass through, which would make sense, I guess. But we really just got one big chunk there that fell off. And once again, looks like it just passed straight through and took off that big chunk right there. So I saved that last block of ice and I got it on the table down there. Let's see how much damage we can do with the AK. So just to give you guys an idea of how cold it actually is, if you can see that wind chill right there, -1. The things I do for you people. But as you can see from that first day, not too much data to collect there. Obviously this is just kind of a fun, silly video anyway, so I'm not like really worried about, you know, getting like scientific results or nothing like that. I don't think we're gonna get that anyway, shooting solid ice like this. But like I said, those ice blocks were just too brittle, and I think that I froze them maybe even too long and just became really brittle. So today I have a couple leftover ice blocks that I froze. Now these are not nearly as brittle as the ones that I shot a couple weeks ago, but behind that I have several frozen water jugs, and I'm hoping that if these bullets pass through that ice block again, that they will stop in those water jugs, and maybe we'll be able to take a look at them. Now, I'm not gonna shoot all the calibers that I did a couple weeks ago. I only have 12 or 13 water jugs, so I'm only gonna shoot probably 4 or 5 guns today. But if this ice block that I have in front of these water jugs just shatters like they were the other day, I'm probably not gonna use them anymore, and just take it off the table and stick to the water jugs and see if we can capture these bullets that way. So let's do it. All right guys, first we're gonna do the 9mm out of my Glock 17, and I'm actually gonna do a hollow point this time. This is the 124 grain Remington Black Belt, and I'm hoping that this bullet will actually stop somewhere in that ice. So wish me luck. Why don't you guys put your guesses in the comments what you think will happen with this, because I have no idea and I'm kind of nervous. I think I see a bullet on the table. Now if you look on the table here, it's kind of hard to tell if it even went into the water jug. I'm gonna kind of start moving this stuff around for you guys to see as well, because I'm not really sure. The ice did shatter quite a bit. Go over here. I don't see any holes or anything in our first water jug, but right behind our first water jug is our 124 grain Remington Black Belt. So kind of weird, but that bullet definitely expanded. You can see there, expanded pretty well actually, and kind of flattened out a little bit, but I don't think that it even went through our first water jug, and it looks like that big block of ice right there pretty much stopped that bullet, and it probably just dropped onto our table right there beside our water jug. So that was pretty cool, but I'm just excited that I finally got a bullet to stop on the table here after going through the ice so that we could take a look at it. I thought that they might be breaking apart quite a bit when they're going through the ice, and maybe that's why I wasn't able to find them a couple weeks ago. But the 9mm Remington Black Belt stayed intact. It expanded a little bit and flattened out a little bit, but it didn't break apart like I thought it would. And yeah, it looks pretty good, so let's step it up. All right guys, I went ahead and took that big ice block away because I think I kind of got lucky with that 9mm. I have a feeling that the rest of these bullets are not just gonna stop on the table like that for me. So now we just have the frozen water jugs, and I'm thinking that these will stop these bullets a little bit better because they're surrounded by plastic and stuff like that. So now we're gonna do the 45 ACP. This is the 220 grain, I believe, Federal Premium HST out of the Smith & Wesson Shield 45. Shout out to Turtle Lake Tactical. But let me know what you guys think will happen with the 45. I think it's gonna stop in that first water jug. Those things are frozen pretty solid. Let's see. All right, there's the entrance hole in our first frozen water jug. And if you look at the back side of it, it looks like that bullet did not come out the other side. So it either stopped in that first frozen jug or it bounced back out onto the ground. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can dig into this frozen jug and find this bullet. All right, so I threw this jug around a little bit until I got some of that ice to fall out. And this is actually pretty cool. You can see down inside that jug just how deep that hole is. It looks like that bullet almost made it all the way through, and luckily I found this when I dropped it on the ground. That is our HST, and that bullet expanded quite a bit. It actually looks a lot like it does when I shoot it into ballistic shell, so that's kind of impressive. And yeah, based off how deep that hole is, it looks like the 45 ACP almost made it all the way through our first water jug. It's kind of impressing me how these bullets are staying intact like this. I mean, these jugs are literally frozen solid, and I kind of expected these bullets to break apart a little bit, but so far our 9 and our 45 have stayed intact really well. All right, next I'm gonna shoot the 5.56 out of my AR-15, and a lot of times these rifle rounds tend to break apart, especially when they hit hard surfaces because they're going so fast. So they don't usually penetrate as far as you think they would. But with that being said, I still think this one will probably get into the second water jug, but I don't think we're gonna be able to recover a full intact bullet like we did with the pistol rounds. So let's see. Oh yeah. All right, there is the massive entrance hole from the 5.56 on that first ice jug. Obviously, just a lot more energy than the pistol rounds. And it actually chopped that handle right in half and just made an enormous exit hole, leaving that first ice jug. Went into our second ice jug, and doesn't look like it came out the other side. So hopefully that bullet's in one piece and I'll be able to find it in this second ice jug. So as I suspected, the 5.56 looks like it just disintegrated on impact basically. All I was able to find was that one little piece right there, and I was not able to recover any more of that bullet. So like I said, a lot of rifles are just going so fast that when they hit stuff, especially hard stuff like these frozen jugs, they're just not going to stay intact like our pistol rounds did. All right, next I'm shooting the 7.62x39 out of my AK-47, and after seeing the AR-15 make it into the second jug, I think that the AK will probably make it into the third jug. These are quite a bit more powerful than the AR-15, especially at penetrating through hard barriers. So let's see. So that actually went through all 4 jugs, but it hit a little bit higher than I wanted it to and kind of went out the top of the 4th jug. So I'm gonna do it again and see if I can get it a little bit lower. All right, so there's the entrance hole on our first jug. The giant exit hole. And that second jug just completely blew apart. All the ice pretty much came flying out of it. And there is that one big chunk left in there. But it also has an exit hole in it. And it looks like in the third jug, that is our entrance hole right there. So hoping that that bullet stopped in there. I don't see an exit hole out the other side, so it did kind of split it up at the top here, but that could just be from the impact. And I'm gonna go ahead and try and find that bullet. Well, unfortunately, I wasn't able to find that 7.62 by 39, which is kind of what I expected. So that kind of sucks, but like I said, not really surprising. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, guys. It's still absolutely freezing out here, and I think I've done about all I can do with shooting ice, but this is an idea that I've had for quite a while, and I wanted to do it while I had the freezing cold weather on my side. So obviously just kind of a fun, silly video, but I do think I got some pretty cool shots over these last couple of weeks, and it was definitely a lot of fun and pretty interesting. Those pistol rounds were pretty cool, in my opinion. I thought it was kind of fun to see those bullets fully expand like that, and how we were able to capture those. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I hope that you guys did like this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up for me, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Well, I hope you guys liked the video, but before I let you go, I want to see if we can put some holes in this frozen pond I have behind me with my AK-47 here. Thanks for watching, guys.